What's up, guys? Welcome to another video, but this time it's not the other kind. It's called Balisong Shorts. We put a lot of effort into our main videos, like a lot of jokes, a lot of gags, visual effects nonsense. Brandon turns into a shark. We decided we need to have another way of doing this where that doesn't happen. So what we did was we invented a scoring system. It's for the Bally Shorts. It's the Bally Shorts score. It's the BS score. Very funny, thank you. We put a lot of thought into this. We tried to come up with the most objective scoring system we could think of, but there will still be opinions.
Also, none of this is scripted. So, good luck with that. Stab gag. Oh, spray me in the face. Maybe kiss me.
WillHirsch.gay, buy a shirt or a cup. So let's introduce the knife that we're actually talking about. This is the Mako V4.5. If you remember in our Mako review of the V4, we tried to break it and we couldn't. But some people were more successful than us. People dropped them and they shattered right here through the handle. It seems to be an issue that only affects a certain number of them, so it's a very small thing, but it is a problem. And if you have that problem, tell Squid because they will fix it for you. If you buy a Mako now, you get the V4.5 instead of the V4, and they changed some things. You see, they moved the gills up, so the gills aren't down here now, they're up. And they're also smaller, they're slightly smaller, so the handle is thicker overall, and the gills have moved up somewhat.
I got it, it's mine.
No. Oh shit, fuck, okay. Okay, so to talk about the Mako V4.5, we need to get into the scores and whether or not you should buy the new updated version of the Mako V4.5. All right, so up first, we're gonna talk about the unboxing experience, and the unboxing experience of this thing is fine. Comes in its own little Squid Industries box. It's got like the stickers, and you got the little baggie with the Squid Industries logo. It's pretty good. We give that a 6 out of 10. Now, you might hear that and be like, only a 6 out of 10? That's a pretty low score for the unboxing. Well, we're doing it the real way. We are doing it the real way because 5 out of 10 is average. Everybody's got these systems that are like, oh, well, everything ranks like 7 or 8 out of 10. It's like, no, if 7 and 8 is average, that's wrong. So, an average unboxing experience is 5. So anything above 5 means that is actually pretty good. So a 6 is a slightly above average unboxing experience. That means they did include some extra stuff, but it's not crazy. There's no extra hardware, there's no extra tools, it's just the knife, you know, and some stickers, which is cool. It's neat. It's above average. All right, next we're talking about the tuning experience with this thing. You know, it's got only washers, unfortunately, so it's nothing crazy. Like, you can't just tighten it and then go, but it's average.
5 out of 10.
5 out of 10.
5 out of 10 is average. Washers and you gotta Loctite.
You gotta Loctite.
That's what you gotta do. That's kind of average. That's kind of what you could expect. If it was like bushings, you could just crank it down.
You'd be great.
Then you'd be good.
But
and that'd be like
gotta,
7, 8 out of 10 if you could just crank it and you're good.
No, you gotta lock it.
5 out of 10.
Gotta Loctite it. 5 is average. 5 is not bad. Now, durability, that's a bit of a different story, isn't it?
I hated that.
Different story, isn't it? The knife is, you know, pretty hard to break, all things considered. It's got a nice steel blade and it's got nice channel aluminum handles. So if you drop it, it's not like it's going to shatter. We actually took into consideration Brandon's Triton V2 for this score because we wanted to kind of consider how the black anodization here might wear with time. And Brandon has had this for a while now and it's got some scuffs on the bottom, but overall it still looks pretty damn good. And Brandon has not been nice to this thing, by the way. So one thing to consider too is that the original Mako V4, not the updated version, you know, it cracked in half for some people, and that's a problem. It does a little bit of self-harm. The little boy here does hit the inside of the handle, so that's unfortunate. They fixed that in this. So in general, there are some durability improvements that have gone from here to here, and I think that does warrant it a 7 out of 10. So that's your score. now we can talk about the flippability. In terms of a flippability score, this is a bit of a hard one because we want to take into account how the knife flips overall as compared to other knives and kind of talk about it regardless of the overall price. It's only on washers, so it definitely feels like a washer knife to flip. But at the same time, it does feel good in the hand. It has a surprising amount of grip, even though it doesn't have any jimping or anything milled into it. But on top of that, the knife itself is a little small compared to a full-size Balisong, so it's not a one-to-one comparison. It is heavier than like a Squiddy, but it's still not as heavy as some of the knives that you might be training to flip would be.
Within the Squid Industries world, we probably agree the Crackaracken. It's probably, what, 10 out of 10?
Yeah, I'd say it's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
The Crackaracken is absolutely, I think, a 10 out of 10 flipping experience. And the main reason for that is because if you ask anybody in the Balisong hobby what a good flipper is, or if you ask them, is the Crackaracken a good flipper, basically everyone will tell you yes. Yeah. So the idea in the flipping category is comparing stuff to this and the Squiddy and some of the cheap knives we got on Amazon to really get an idea of where it lands. And so that's why it's not quite as good of an experience as this. Like, I wouldn't say that every person who tries it would all around agree that this is a great flipper, whereas they would say this is. And so, for the Mako V4.5, we've decided that it gets a flippability score of 7 out of 10.
I'm a 7 out of 10.
That's true. Turns out, a lot of Balisongs, you just can't fucking buy them. You just can't buy them. That's just, you just can't do it. Sorry. So, we have an availability score for that exact purpose. So, in terms of availability for the Mako V4.5, you can buy it from Squid Industries website, and they restock every Wednesday. Who would have thought? And you can buy one of these using code WillHirsch at checkout. And you get a 10% discount.
Shill.
And then we get 5% of that as well.
None of this.
And so it's so yeah, you can go buy this on the Squid website and you know where and when you can get one. And I think that's relatively important because in the Balisong hobby, a lot of makers just kind of drop randomly at any time, and it'll be like months between drops. And then when they do drop, they don't announce it at all, and then suddenly everything is sold out in like 3 seconds. So, for an availability score, we decided to give this guy a 8 out of 10. We decided that a 1 out of 10 would be a knife that you just can't buy, and a 10 out of 10 would be a knife that you can buy all the time. After the availability, I think we can wrap everything up and talk about the value of this Balisong. This is the one that we spent the longest time discussing because determining the overall inherent value of something is so hard to do objectively. So when it comes to the value score itself, we have to look at all of the previous scores that we did and determine what's the value of this thing, especially compared directly to the price that it proposes. And so, the value proposition for this boy is pretty good. You can get it for 99 bucks if you get the standard version, and then it's like slightly more expensive than that to get the inked model, but it's not that bad. You get customizability, you get pretty good flipping action, you get a lot of stuff. In terms of value, we called it, what, an 8 out of 10? It doesn't give you insane value because obviously it's not on bushings, it's not on bearings, it's not on anything special, it's just on washers. But you are getting it from a company that you know you can trust, and if it breaks, much like the old Mako did, you can talk to Squid Industries and they'll fix it for you. And that does carry some inherent value. It is also
a trainer that's a bottle opener. So, you know whenever you're like your fingernails get too long and you need to just fucking pry. I can though. I can pry off my fingernails.
I am not letting you
pry off my fingernails in the middle of a video shoot.
Dude,
we could call it a shark attack. The first shark attack that happened hundreds of miles from the sea.
At the end of the day, this trainer gets a 41 out of 60 possible points.
What the fuck does that mean? So like 7 out of 10.
Yeah,
7-ish out of 10.
I would honestly suggest this to anybody looking to get a Balisong at around 100 bucks. It's perfectly good for what it is. I would buy it. I think you should too. You can open a bottle with it. Just Crack that shit open.
Pry off your fingernails.
Don't do what Brandon says. So if you want to look at how different knives rank on the BS score system, we actually have a link in the description that you can go and look at the current list of BS scores.
The link in the description right next to that like button. YouTube. Ice Cube and throat. No one's ever made a scoring system like this before, so we're gonna have fun.
We're trying our best.
Trying to provide value.
Value?
What is the value of our videos? 1 out of
2. Oh. For now, I just want to say thank you to the Patreon supporters. You guys are great. You guys keep this stuff going. You know, you allow us to do more stuff like this. We're making a little more loosey-goosey. We're having a little more fun here. We're just kind of going. There's no script. There's no teleprompter. I'm just talking straight to you.
So we know this whole, okay, yep. There you go, yep, just spit it out, sweetie. Now, if you'll excuse me, we're gonna go repopulate the world with sharks like it should be by making these, oh God, this isn't appropriate. Well, we gotta cut to black.
We gotta
cut to black now!